Welcome to Backyard Cigars. Today I am smoking a Nicaraguan puro by Alex Arias. On April 7th of 2022, past month, I had the privilege of meeting Alejandro Arias, or some people might just say Alex, but Alex Arias is a world famous Cuban roller. He's considered one of the best, if not the best, but definitely in the conversation of, let's just say, the top three. He's that popular. And taking a cue from individuals from Cuba who have not defected, not left their home in Cuba, but simply requested permission to expand and branch out a little bit and head out to places like Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, somewhere that they can find an avenue of income. Because that's what it really gets down to. You have a talent and you want to make the most of it and you want to maximize. So if you know that you can roll cigars, just say for example, but your experience in rolling is on such a level that you're aware that you're also very knowledgeable about blends, and that if you need a little assistance you can get that and still be in control of things. So you put those two things together, now you're blending and rolling, and you're probably doing some small amount of work in regards to supervision of manufacturing, because you're probably looking, you're small time, you just started. This is a Cuban roller or blender or grower that wants to expand and knows about a lot of these different things, or just enough to get them an opportunity to make things happen. So now you're having assistance possibly in buying some of the tobacco, but you're selecting the leaves yourself, and you are probably having individuals sort them, right? Okay, you could do that. Maybe it's sorted already when you get to it. And you're buying your own tobacco, you're choosing it, you're rolling it, you're blending it, and then you're rolling it, and then you're putting it out there. What I've just described is a lot of work, I think. I could be wrong. But that's exactly what this young man has embarked on. The type of journey that he's embarked on is not a journey that a lot of Cuban cigar men have been able to experience without leaving completely and defecting, right? But no, these individuals, the select few, get the opportunity to travel and become ambassadors. And I do believe that the Cuban government knows that at any given moment, one of their ambassadors may defect and leave. I think they're aware of that. But in some cases, they don't. They stay. And Hiroshi Robaina is still a famous Cuban tobacco grower. And he's still growing tobacco in Cuba. And yeah, he's had some skirmishes and some little, mishaps here and there on his particular journey, which I'm sure that Alex is going to encounter as well. It's just unavoidable. These things don't come easy. Putting out your own cigar line doesn't come easy. So Alex Arias, Robusto 5x50, Una Nueva, Generacion, a new generation. And in researching the cigar, I just wanted to dig a little extra, because even though I got a chance to talk to him personally about it, I wanted to see what else was out there. And I come across a singer by the name of Alex Arias, whose salsa group, Una Nueva Generacion, is on such and such video. So I found it funny that popped up. But I did get to speak to Alex about this cigar, and he said to me, we wanted to do something different. We wanted to harness the power of Nicaragua. We decided that we thought that that was the best tobacco in comparison to the Cuban tobacco. We thought that that was best, and we really liked it. And he talks about how he really got into Nicaragua and was blown away by all the different regions and everything that they had to offer, which is expected. And then he says that the development took, I don't know if it was a year or two for them to get this off the ground. But he's 36, 37 years old, so he's still a very young man. And this Robusto is like I said, a Nicaraguan puro, Nicaraguan Habano wrapper, binder filler. And silly me, I'm, watching him roll and talk about so many other subjects that I don't remember if he said all of the regions that he used, but he did mention Esteli. And he said, look, we don't want to make a powerhouse Nicaraguan cigar. We want to take a Nicaraguan cigar with the Nicaraguan tobacco, and we want to finesse it. We want to make it, the word he used, mejorado. And that's just taking the tobacco and just really making it the best that it could be, basically. So that's what he wanted to do. That's what he felt that he accomplished with this cigar. And without further ado, I've been smoking it now, going on my age. So there's definitely this sweetness that comes through when you're first just taking a puff, and then you get wood, you get some cedar. The sweetness is almost like a light caramel sweetness. It mingles with a pepper. Then you get this. Whoa. You get this, kick of pepper in the finish. That it's a light kick, really. It's nothing crazy. It's kind of smooth, and it's got some earthy tones to it. I I can just almost see Alex in the final stages with this cigar and putting his stamp of approval on it, right? Because I really see him smoking it the way I am smoking it right now and feeling that he really has tamed the beast in some of the tobaccos that he's used from Nicaragua, especially some of the stronger Ligero. He was trying to create a smooth operator type of cigar here. And I could see him putting a stamp of approval on it because it's good enough to be considered a smooth operator with just enough to remind you that it isn't a mild cigar, right? It's more medium, and it'll probably be medium plus when you get to the nub state, that final part of the cigar. But you see where I'm at with this cigar right now, and I'm not. Look, I love criticism. I do. I really do. I welcome it, and I like when people engage with me in the comment section, whether maybe it's not something that one in particular wants to read sometimes, but it's a comment, it's an opinion, or it's something that the person feels and they want to express that, and that is great. That is great. But sometimes you guys might notice that I don't finish the entire cigar and I don't take the review up to the nub. Now, one reason is time in terms of the video length, since I talk so much. The second reason is that sometimes I've had the cigar many times, so I can easily describe the final third to you, whether in the video or in the description below, which I do quite often. Other times, it could simply be that maybe I haven't had the cigar before, but I'm going to add the final third in the description below in the notes. The other time that I might end the review with the cigar not completely smoked, I don't know, depending on the cigar size, right? Is that, and every cigar is different. There is something that I have read a lot in reading about cigars back into the late 1800s and even into the early 1900s, which was the 3/4 rule, right? Where a gentleman should, cigar etiquette of that time, let's just say 1898, would only smoke the cigar to 3/4 of the cigar, because in those 3/4 therein lied the best flavor of the cigar. Cigar makers would, depending again the vitola size, the heart of the cigar was at a certain point, and individuals would smoke up to a certain point, and then after that they'd just put it down. And it seems like a waste. It does. Cigars were a lot cheaper, one, and two, a lot of people really believed this was proper cigar etiquette, and you'll still hear a little bit about it today. But nowadays, it's all about nub, taking it to the nub. You've even got a cigar named Nub, so people don't want to waste it. They smoke as much as possible, and sometimes when you're watching a review, as a person that's just watching, you want to know what that reviewer thinks of the cigar, even going down to the nub. Even if possibly, and maybe more often than not, but not always, the flavor going into that, past that final third or towards the ending of that final third, is disgusting or really not worth smoking, or really not worth comparing to in terms of the rest of the experience of the cigar. It's like you're a fighter, you go into a fight, you have 10 great rounds, and you get knocked down in the 11th, you get back up, you lose the 12th. You won the fight. You really did. You won the fight convincingly despite that. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't taste good when you get down sometimes to that final nub part. And a lot of times it's because that isn't designed to be the most tasty part of the cigar. A lot of us that smoke cigars, and many of you that have had a cigar, will realize that maybe sometimes that first inch takes time to develop. You get into that second, third, and things just rev up and really finish well. And then you have other cases where a cigar will do well only in the final third. The first 2/3 will be a bust. And then the final third will just come on and all these flavors develop, and you just wish that you would have gotten that in the first and second third. But generally speaking, this is what was believed in the past. And while I don't practice it myself, sometimes I will kind of employ it in regards to a review. But I'll always try to add the notes at the bottom. Now, it's getting harder to add notes now due to policies within the platform. But I will say that in the case of Latitude Zero, I did forget to add the notes in the description, and I didn't smoke that cigar completely on video, and perhaps I was wrong in doing that. I should have either remembered to add the description, or I don't know, do something like a little uptake where I just added an amendment video to the video, and I can do that, and I've done it. So sorry about that. But this is a Robusto. It's fairly quick to smoke one of these babies, and it's a really nice band that he chose for his cigar. I like it. I think the cigar is good. It's this, this is what it's smart of Alex to do this type of cigar. I know he's capable of a lot more. I know it, but I know why this exists, and this isn't bad, by the way, not at all. But this exists because when you're first coming out, you don't want to put something crazy out there. You want to put something that's going to check a lot of the boxes and that's going to please a lot of people, because this is, and I don't know what it's like in the Toro version. I believe it's available in 2 vitola sizes, Robusto and Toro. And so it might be a bit different in the Toro size. But Robusto size, one of the most popular sizes, if not the most popular size, next to the Toro. And you want something pleasing, something that a lot of people are going to appreciate and say, hey, okay, I can smoke this. This is good, not too expensive. I don't know what they're retailing for yet. I don't know where they're even available. I don't know if I'm even allowed to talk about that. So let me change the subject. It's a good cigar. It really is. It's got good flavor and good strength, good body. It's got a nice earthy spiciness to it. Now as I head into this final third, there are moments where I do get a little of that Cuban influence, and obviously Alex is from Cuba, right? So he would put a stamp of Cuban influence on this type of cigar, on any cigar that he makes. But he did realize, he said, that I was working with Nicaraguan tobacco. Not the same. Never going to be the same. Never going to be as good. Those are his words. And he's very proud of his work with Cuban tobacco. But he realized that it would be a different story working with the different regions in Nicaragua. So I think he was kind of letting us know that, hey, this is my first jump into doing this. Excuse me. And we wanted to be careful about it. We wanted to do things right. So I think they played it safe here. It's pleasing. So, box worthy, 5-pack. I'd say 5-pack. I would probably say if I saw this available and I had the opportunity, I'd probably buy a 5-pack, because it's a good value. And again, I don't know anything about, where to purchase and things like that, but I would say Una Nueva generacion, a new generation, is worthy of a 5-pack purchase. And, I'd probably take one, age it, I'd smoke another one, and have a few available for friends and family that might want to smoke a very smooth Nicaraguan tobacco with a really good draw, by the way. Really good draw. So that's it today. We've talked about Alex Arias in the past. I have a different video with Cuban rollers that you should check out if you want to know more about Alex. And there won't be a link for that, so you'll have to search through the videos, unfortunately, because again, can't do links. But thank you for watching. Until next time on Backyard Cigars.